Hi, welcome to another episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV. I'm your host, Marek Mularczyk from SAItraining.co.uk, and this is another episode of PhotoshopLightroomTV, your weekly, your video podcast about anything Photoshop, Lightroom, and photography. This time there will be something for everyone. I'll be talking mainly about Photoshop, but I'll talk a bit about Lightroom as well. Here's what I'm going to talk about this week. I want to talk about smart objects in Photoshop and something that's new in an update to Photoshop CC, Photoshop Creative Cloud. If you're a Creative Cloud member, what you may have noticed in Photoshop is when you go to File menu, now instead of having the usual place command, we have place embedded and place linked. There's been some changes. In the past, you only had the place command. And what's happening is if you were to place an image, it would become a smart object. Now, nothing's changed about that. However, in the past, when you were using place command, the object or the image will become an embedded smart object, meaning the image became part of the file. So if you're working on a Photoshop file, PSD file, and import, let's say, a JPEG, it becomes the JPEG becomes part of the PSD file. So if you change the original JPEG on a desktop, on your computer, nothing happens. That's what place embedded does. However, now we have another option called place linked. Oh, by the way, you can see my place embedded has a keyboard shortcut because I used to have a keyboard shortcut for place, which automatically updated with place embedded because that's what place embedded does. But now we got another option for place linked. What it means is you can place a linked file. So let's say you can go to File, Place Linked, and you can place something, let's say, like an image, like a JPEG or PNG file, let's say this guy, for example. We can place it here, and this image becomes a linked smart object. So it's linked to the original on the hard drive. Okay. But here's something really clever for those of you who are using Lightroom. Just going to get rid of it. Okay. If you're into photography, Lightroom is the best. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place one of my images from Lightroom, and I'm going to place one of the raw images. Okay, let me just save the changes because I've been playing with this image. That's why I got this exclamation point here. So I'm going to place one of my raw images, which is actually on my portable external hard drive. So this is the image I want to place. I'm going to find out what it is. So I'll just right click on it and choose Show in Explorer or Show in Finder if you're on the Mac. Okay, it's here. It's called Bristol_002. Now we don't need that. I'm just going to delete that. Bristol, okay. Now we'll go into Photoshop and I'm going to place it. Because now with place linked, you can actually place raw files as well. It's not just about JPEGs or PNG files, which is really, really clever. I'm loving it. Which one was it? Bristol_002, wasn't it? Okay. Because it's a raw file, it opens Camera Raw, obviously. Because Photoshop as such doesn't open raw images, it goes through the Camera Raw. Now, I'm not going to make any changes in here because I'm going to let Lightroom do everything for me. Because I do all my photography workflow with Lightroom. So I'm just going to click OK here, and in just a few seconds the image will become a smart object, a linked smart object here in Photoshop. I'm going to place it here on the side. There we go, accept it. And now if you look in the layers panel, notice that the icon of the smart object looks a bit different. It's got a chain icon this time instead of the typical embedded smart object icon. So what it means, this image is now on my external hard drive, but it's linked to this PSD file. Okay, I'm just going to save changes and I'll go to Lightroom. And in Lightroom, we'll make some changes. So I'm going to jump into Develop module and I'll make some changes here. So for example, I'm going to convert it to black and white, basic top, or make it black and white, and maybe increase the contrast a bit. So in here, I'll bump up the contrast to medium contrast. Okay, that's all I'm going to do here. Now, I need to save the changes. So I'm just going to press Ctrl S on Windows or Command S on a Mac. Save metadata file, yes. I want to save the metadata. Alright, settings, yes. And now, ready. Going to Photoshop. You can see the spin wheel, even though I'm not doing anything in Photoshop. Now that's not just the computer slowing down. No, hold on. Be prepared for something, and in just a few seconds the image is going to update. Now the image is in black and white automatically, which kind of makes sense because I've changed the actual file on the computer, on the hard drive. It's updated automatically. How clever is that? This is really clever, and it works. And what's really great, especially for me, is it works with raw images as well, not just with JPEGs. And that's basically what we get new here with the smart objects, especially great for photographers, but it works with any other file formats. So if you work with JPEGs or PNG files, this works as well. I just thought it would be really great and really interesting to show you how it works with raw images as well, if you're more into, well, if you do some photography as well. Alright, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. If you want to find out more information about my Photoshop and Lightroom courses, just have a look on my website at saitraining.co.uk. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon in the next episode of Photoshop Lightroom TV, your video podcast about anything Photoshop and Lightroom and photography as well. I'm your host, Marek Mularczyk, and thank you for watching, and see you soon. Bye bye.